Okay, let's think about this for a second. Selling an investment like a house is a big deal. Sometimes life throws us a curveball where we have to make decisions when the temperature is -20, -25, or maybe in a market where home sales are down. Now, things happen, but if you have the luxury to put your home on the market when it makes most financial sense, that's what we're talking about here today. The best time, statistically, because I'm a nerd, turns out to be the week of April 13th to the 19th. So if that's you this year, you better get started because the process takes time, from decluttering to yard cleanup to staging to professional photographs, etc. Takes longer than you think. Now, a recent survey from realtor.com found that more than half of home sellers, 53%, typically spend about a month getting their homes ready to list. This prediction is based on trends from data between 2018 and 2024. So it's important to note that we are excluding the year 2020, just because that was a kind of a funky year. Now, we looked at key metrics like market competition and listing prices, days on market, likelihood of price reductions, and buyer demand to determine the best time to sell. But notably, mortgage rates aren't included in this calculation, and that's important because those are driven by broader economic trends, not seasonal patterns. As we know, living here in Montana, we're already on our third winter. Hopefully summer is around the corner, but you never know because it could snow in June. Now, looking forward to 2025, we expect the market to follow typical seasonal patterns with slightly better conditions than 2024. The best time to sell is based on a combination of those factors that create the most favorable outcomes for sellers. Now, the housing market in 2024 was challenging, I would say. I think many would agree, but home prices stayed stubbornly high. And many of you know the mortgage rates between 6 and 7% fluctuated quite a bit. They dipped down a little bit in September of 24 down to the low sixes, just based on speculation with the election. And then they quickly climbed back up to 6.5% by mid-October. And listing prices peaked in June of 2024, I'd say, right around 440,000. But even with the slight improvement, affordability has always been an issue. But one interesting note was that in June of 2024, the larger, more expensive homes were selling faster than the cheaper homes, which is very interesting. Normally, it's kind of flip-flop, more buyers in the lower priced homes. So, kind of interesting there. But Montana has a lot of money, and those, after their first home have just been outpaced by the appreciation, unfortunately. One bright spot in 2024 was the increase in inventory, and 2025 is expected to have even more than that, which is great. Now, when it comes to the third week of April, there are about 5 factors that line up to demonstrate its favorability. Number 1, historically, homes listed in the week of this year, so the third week of April, tend to sell for about 1.1% more on average than the start of the year. In 2025, we expect to see the national median listing price increase just under about $5,000 over the week on average, or about $27,000 compared to the start of the year. So it's a big difference if you list your home in January versus April. Keep that in mind next year. Number 2, more buyers browsing listings means more potential offers and quicker sales. Let's face it, when we're all coming out of hibernation and when that grass turns green, it means that summer is around the corner. Thank goodness. I don't know about you, but I am a summer fan, not really a winter fan personally. But in the past, homes listed during the week have received about 17% more views per listing compared to other weeks. Now, as mortgage rates have been over 6% for more than 2 years, many buyers have stayed on the sidelines. But as inventory improves and price growth slows, more buyers are expected to jump into the market this spring. And if mortgage rates continue to drop, that buyer demand could surge. Number 3, homes tend to sell faster during this week. So historically, again, homes sold about 9 days faster than the average week. For example, in 2024, homes sold 5 days faster than the year's average during this week. Now, if demand picks up quicker than inventory this spring, we could see even faster market pace. Nothing in comparison to COVID, but still faster than last year. Number 4 out of 5, seller activity tends to ramp up throughout the year, peaking in late summer and early fall. So in 2024, inventory levels in January were up about 24.6% compared to the previous year, but still down 24.8% from pre-pandemic levels. And finally, number 5, the number of price reductions is typically lower in the spring compared to the fall as buyer demand picks up. So in the 3rd week of April, you can expect about 20% fewer homes to have price reductions compared to the average week, meaning you're more likely to get close to your asking price. And heading into 2025, things look a bit brighter, which is good. I think it's a bit of relief for everybody. More homes on the market should stimulate buyer demand in both well-supplied markets and areas with low inventory. Now, this year's market will depend on, of course, the affordability, but that hinges on falling rates and rising inventory. There are some key economic factors to watch for. Mortgage rates are expected to fall to the mid to low 6% range by the end of 2025. And after nearly 2.5 years of rates over 6%, buyers have stayed out of the market, rightfully so. They've got like a 3% interest rate. It's hard to give up. So as inflation eases and rates come down, we may see more buyers entering the market, which could boost demand. Now, rising prices and seller competition are a thing. So by the end of June, home prices typically peak, but so does the competition from other sellers because other sellers are entering the marketplace as well. New listings tend to surge as sellers aim to take advantage of the higher prices, and sellers who list early in the spring typically have a better chance of closing successfully and negotiating favorable terms. But that's also up to your professional and your realtor on whether they're a good negotiator. So keep that in mind. Now, uncertainty in the market, the inflation has eased, which is great, but the path forward is still a bit unclear due to some economic proposals. As we all know, tariffs are on the drawing board, and that can make building homes more expensive. We'll get into that into a new video. But the higher tariffs could affect the lumber, which limits new construction. So that could hurt the housing market, but building here in Montana has been strong. And candidly, there isn't enough options, so the new construction is part of that solution to kind of give away for the buyers. Now, all that to say, whether you're a buyer or seller, the spring of 25 could offer more opportunities. For sellers, listing in the 3rd week of April gives you the best chance to capitalize on favorable market conditions. For buyers, while affordability remains a challenge, the increase in inventory and price reductions could provide some breathing room. So I know that's dense. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just trying to keep you informed on what's going on. So feel free to reach out if there's ever anything that I can do for you. Remember, life is short. Make yours a happy one. It's a constant effort day to day. Signing out.